The year is 1989, and Encom CEO Flynn is telling his son about his adventures in the grid, a completely digital world. Flynn built the grid and spent some time on it as a child because he thought it was a beautiful world. There he met Tron, a brave warrior who showed him incredible things like disc battles and fast cycles. However, Flynn had real-world responsibilities, so he created a duplicate of himself called Clue to manage things in the grid. Working together, Flynn, Clue, and Tron devised a system in which all information, including the system itself, was free. They eventually discovered a miracle in the grid, but Flynn refuses to tell his son about it, promising to finish the story another day. Sometime later, news outlets report Flynn's mysterious disappearance. The Encom board members claim that Flynn's behavior has been erratic since his wife died, but they are not entirely trustworthy because they want to reclaim control of the company while Flynn's parents care for his son. The boy is bitter because he believes his father abandoned him. 20 years later, Flynn's son Sam makes his way through the night streets to the Encom tower, where he uses a device to hack the door lock and enters. Then he makes his way upstairs, where he tricks a security camera before running to the room with the main computer. He begins hacking this as well, unaware that he has accidentally set off an alarm and a guard is approaching him. Meanwhile, a board meeting is being held, and the new boss announces their new main product, a secure operating system that will be available in a few hours. They'll also charge for it, which horrifies Alan because it contradicts everything his old friend Flynn founded this company on, but his objections are ignored. At that moment, a video of Sam's dog appears on the screen, preventing the boss from accessing the system. When their technician finally gets to check, he discovers that someone has uploaded their software for free to the internet. Sam is very pleased with himself, but he is discovered by a guard who begins chasing him until they reach the rooftop. When Sam finds himself cornered, he jumps and activates his parachute, only to become stuck at a traffic light. After some struggle, he frees himself from the harness and lands on top of a taxi, which drives him around until Sam collapses. By then, the cops had caught up to him and arrested him. A few hours later, Sam pays bail and returns home, which is essentially a shipping container turned into an apartment. Suddenly, Alan appears and congratulates Sam on his latest trick. Apparently, Sam pulls a prank on the company every year on the anniversary of his father's disappearance. Alan then reveals that he still has his old pager because Flynn told him to sleep with it, and that he recently received a message from Flynn's office above his old arcade shop, which is a number that hasn't been used in 20 years. Sam is disinterested because he is still angry at his father, but Alan calls him out for his attitude. The night before Flynn vanished, he told Alan he had made a significant discovery. Alan believes Flynn would never disappear like that and that something happened to him, but Sam doesn't believe him and throws him out. Before leaving, Alan hands Sam the keys to the arcade shop. Looking at his dog's face makes Sam feel guilty, so he goes to the arcade. There is no one inside, so he decides to play some Tron, but when he inserts the coin, it falls out, causing Sam to notice some strange markings on the floor. He moves the game and discovers a secret doorway that leads him down a passage and into a control room containing a computer. Sam immediately starts using it to look for clues, unaware that his actions have activated a powerful laser behind him. This laser suddenly emits a ray that digitizes Sam and transports him to the grid. As the floor moves beneath him, Sam is stunned and overwhelmed by the incredible world he is witnessing, making it easy for the guards to grab him and add him to a list of other captive programs. Nobody here seems to be able to tell that he is a human user rather than a program. A strangely shaped vehicle transports the prisoners to see another worker, who examines each of them and decides whether they will be derezzed or killed or sent to the games. Thankfully, Sam is chosen for the games, but when another program suffers the same fate, the guy flees and self-destructs using an in-ground fan. Afterwards, Sam is sent to the armory, where the sirens remove his clothes and give him new armor, as well as an identity disc. A siren named Jem warns Sam to survive before being taken to the gaming grid, where they play Disc Wars. A large crowd cheers for the players, while the boss watches from his box, accompanied by his assistant Jarvis. As soon as the first match begins, Sam is attacked by his opponent's disc, which he avoids just in time. In the room next to his, he is terrified of what will happen if the disc hits. Sam has no choice but to fight back with his own disc, and after a few failed throws, the enemy breaks the floor beneath him. He manages to hold on just in time and climbs back to see the opponent approaching, so he waits and breaks the floor at the last second, knocking his opponent down and winning the fight. Sam's next opponent is quite aggressive, so he slides on the floor to hit him quickly before fleeing from his room, drawing Jarvis's attention. After jumping around, Sam arrives in the final round room and discovers that his opponent is Rinsler, who has 2 discs. A fierce fight ensues, during which gravity constantly changes, and Rinsler eventually overpowers Sam. However, when Rinsler notices blood on Sam's armor, he recognizes him as a user and forces him to face the viewing box above, where the boss requests Sam's identification. As soon as Sam says his name, he is led to the office, where it is revealed that the boss is a young Flynn. Sam cannot believe he is seeing his father again, and Flynn does not recognize him at first, which he attributes to the passage of time. The man examines Sam's disc, but is unimpressed by the contents of his memories. And when Sam asks if they can return home, his request is denied. Now the truth is revealed. This is Clue, not Flynn. Next, Sam is sent to the light cycle arena, where Jarvis riles up the crowd while a mysterious figure watches from above. Sam is assigned to a team of programs that must battle Clues on energy-powered light cycles. Unfortunately, Clue's team has extensive experience, so no matter how quickly Sam's team works, the programs are eliminated one by one, using a variety of techniques. Sam is thrown off his cycle, but before he can confront Clue face-to-face, the figure appears with a light runner and takes Sam before fighting off a few enemies. Then they blast a hole in the wall to escape off-grid into the Outlands, where no other vehicles can follow. Once they're safe, the figure introduces herself as Quora and leads Sam to a remote home on a hill. Inside, Sam is finally reunited with the real Flynn, who immediately recognizes him. Following a warm reunion between father and son, Quora reveals to Sam that Flynn has been teaching her about the real world through board games and classic books. Later, during dinner, Sam discusses his current situation before demanding to know what happened to his father. Flynn reveals that he had been working with Tron and Clue to create the perfect system, and the miracle they discovered was the emergence of something called ISOs. These are algorithms that evolve on their own, without the need for user intervention, and have the potential to solve a variety of natural mysteries. They also incorporate biodigital genetics. Flynn had never seen anything like it and was impressed, but Clue saw them as flaws. Because his program goal was to create the perfect system, Clue staged a coup, ambushed Flynn and Tron, and took control of the system. Tron was allegedly derezzed, forcing Flynn to flee into the Outlands while the ISOs were destroyed in an event known as the Purge. The only way out of the grid is through a portal, but it has a very limited time frame, and closed shortly after Flynn was captured by Clue. He became trapped inside the grid, and because 8 hours in the grid equals only 30 seconds in the real world, Flynn's absence of 20 years amounted to nearly 20,000 here. If Sam is here, the portal must have reopened, so he wants to rush back there to escape with his father, but Flynn refuses. Because Flynn never sent a message to Alan, he believes it's all a Clue trap, and he'll be waiting at the portal to steal Flynn's identity disk and use it to manipulate the portal itself. A frustrated Sam retreats to his room, while Quora takes a secret object from one of her books. She hands it to Sam and explains that it will help him find Zeus, a program that used to assist the ISOs during the Purge, and that rumors say he has access to any location on the grid. While Sam sneaks out, Flynn dreams of his days with his family and wakes up to find his son gone, so he tells Quora they'll be looking for him. Sam is now using Flynn's light cycle to enter the city, where he exchanges the vehicle for a cloak to maintain a low profile. A guard notices the old light cycle and tracks it down to Flynn's house. The guard relays this information to Clue, who immediately flies there only to discover the building empty. As he looks around, Clue recalls the day he was created and how Flynn promised they would change the world together. Thinking about this enrages him, and he throws a tantrum. Returning to Sam, he is suddenly discovered by Jem, who transports him to Zeus's club, where a large party is taking place. There he meets the eccentric Zeus, but after a discussion about potential plans, Zeus announces that the game has changed. At this point, Clue's soldiers have infiltrated the club after Zeus alerted them for business reasons. Sam steps out to fight them, and Quora quickly arrives to assist him, while Zeus watches from a platform and shoots his cane. Eventually, the duo is overwhelmed, and Quora's left arm is severed. Suddenly, Flynn appears and uses his administrative powers to eliminate the majority of the enemies before leading Sam and Quora to the elevator to escape. A soldier uses an extension cord to capture Flynn's disc just before the elevator doors close, sabotaging the lowering mechanism in the process. While Zeus kills the soldier and takes the disc, Flynn hacks into the elevator and stops it before it crashes. After Flynn chastises Sam for his recklessness, the trio board a solar sailor, which should transport them directly to the portal. As they flee, Flynn takes Quora's identity disk and rearranges the corrupted material, causing her arm to regenerate. He also shows Sam that Quora is the last ISO to exist. After Clue arrives at the club, Zeus offers him a deal, Flynn's disc in exchange for control of the city. Clue pretends to agree, but once he has the disc, he escapes with his guards and destroys the club, killing Zeus and Jem. Moments later, Sam tells his father about more real-world changes, such as the invention of Wi-Fi and the deaths of his grandparents. Flynn admits he feels guilty and would give up his inventions to be with his son again. Quora soon wakes up and informs Sam that Flynn saved her during the Purge. They bond through conversation, and Quora wants to know more about the real world, so Sam describes what the sun looks like to her. When the solar sailor collides with a large carrier ship, the trio flees to hide among the cargo units. They are shocked to discover that a number of programs have been trapped and taken to be reprogrammed into an army for Clue. Rinsler appears at this point and begins investigating the sailor, but Flynn recognizes him right away. Rinsler is his old friend Tron, who has been reprogrammed to be Clue's henchman. To create a distraction, Quora hands Sam her disc before running to confront Rinsler, who quickly apprehends her and takes her away. Flynn and Sam use this distraction to flee. Meanwhile, Clue heads to his tower to store the disc. Flynn and Sam arrive at the tower just in time to see Clue make an announcement to his army. He intends to use Flynn's disc to allow passage into the real world, where they can perfect it. To put an end to this, Flynn and Sam devise a strategy and separate. While Flynn goes to the light jet hangar and reprograms a guard to gain access to one of the vehicles, Sam enters Clue's tower. He fights off several guards and intimidates Jarvis, allowing him to retrieve Flynn's disc. Rinsler appears at that point, holding Quora hostage. But Sam fights him off and, with Quora's assistance, defeats him by knocking him off the tower's edge. Then Sam grabs Quora and jumps off the tower, using a wing-like parachute to glide to the ground and meet Flynn to escape in the jet. Clue returns to the tower to find Rinsler climbing back inside, and he immediately blames Jarvis for his failure. Then he and his team jump off, building their own light jets. While flying over the Sea of Simulation, Sam takes control of the jet's turret and opens fire on Clue and his people, while Quora uses her excellent piloting skills to avoid attacks. Rinsler flies over the light jet and makes eye contact with Flynn, allowing him to regain his memories as Tron. He cries out, "I fight for the users," and collides with Clue's jet, causing him to lose the vehicle and switch hands. Unfortunately, Clue is too good and forms his jet again, taking off while Tron sinks into the sea. After that, the trio arrives at the portal only to find it blocked by Clue, who confronts Flynn and insists that all he was doing was following Flynn's instructions. Flynn apologizes to Clue and explains that perfection is impossible because it is unknowable, but Clue wouldn't know because Flynn didn't when he created him. This revelation prompts Clue to attack Flynn, who orders Sam and Quora to continue to the portal. Sam attacks Clue because he does not want to lose his father again, but Quora breaks up the fight and pushes Sam away, while Clue takes Flynn's disc. As the path splits, Clue discovers that the disc is Quora's. Flynn had swapped his with hers before arriving. Clue, enraged, jumps the gap between the gate and the portal, but Flynn uses a special technique to reintegrate Clue into him. With childhood memories flooding his mind, Flynn proudly watches Sam insert his disc into the portal and say goodbye before fusing with Clue. Sam and Quora escape the grid just before the fusion causes a massive explosion that destroys the entire structure. Once back in his father's office, Sam saves the Tron system on a microchip that he wears around his neck. Then he pages Alan and tells him that he was correct about everything. He also announces that he will retake ENCOM and would like Alan to serve as chairman. After that, Sam meets with Quora and tells her he has something to show her before taking her to see the sunrise for the first time. All right, that's a wrap for today. If you enjoyed the video, hit like. It really helps the channel. Leave a comment with your thoughts and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching and see you next time.